Well, hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and it's another
Oh,
edition of the Blues
okay.
Fix here on
Really?
misplacedstraws.com. And my
Oh, no.
guest today has been on the site a few times before. She's one of my favorite vocalists, and she
Oh,
just released a powerful new record called Colorcrimes. It's always a pleasure to welcome Eliza Neals. Welcome.
hi. Great to be back, Jeff. Thanks for having me again. I'm so glad you like the music.
Oh, my pleasure.
Continuing.
And before we get into the record,
Okay.
Colorcrimes, as well as many of your previous records, was heavily influenced by your mentor, the legendary Barrett Strong. We lost Barrett a little over a year ago, but talk a little bit about what he meant to your career and to your growth as an artist.
Well, Barrett Strong has been a huge influence to me. He was the only person really that took me under his wing and said, "Yep, I'm going to sign you to my label." Out of all the people I've met, really pursued getting my music out there. He was one of the one of the biggest believers in me. The first time I played the piano for him, he was just blown away. I mean, he just saw something that in me that no one else had really seen, before. And he went on a limb to help me do that, get the music out, record it, teach me this, teach me how to record vocals and background vocals and how to do drums and I mean how to produce as well as sing, you know, uh in a certain, bring out what I already had naturally. So the first thing he said to me was like, I couldn't even, he was like, well, I grew up with Aretha in the church. She would sit at the piano and play songs. He goes, you kind of remind me a little bit of how she was when she was, younger and played the piano. I was like, what? And he worked with Marvin Gaye, Gladys Knight. So he heard something in my voice and the way I write songs that he really wanted to work with me. So he's just been bringing that out of me, teaching me things about, old school way, how they did it, how to, don't worry about how you look when you sing, just let it out. He would say funny things like, let food fly out your mouth, let your nose run while you're singing, just sing. Don't care what you look like. You don't try to be cute. But there's so many things. I can't even tell you. It's immeasurable what he's helped me do.
Well, and now on to Colorcrimes. I love the record. For me, it feels a little more diverse than some of your other work. I mean, there's that fiery blues, of course, but I think there's an underlying kind of style soul vibe to it. The horns and Love Dr. Love feel very New Orleans in the background. Do you feel that evolution as you're creating the record, or is it after when you sit back and listen that you hear all that?
Well, what I've recorded many different styles of music in my evolution, starting off on the piano, just kind of doing like more of a classic rock blues type song, like you know, and then when I hear, the stacks and the horns and this and that, it does evolve. So through the years, I've cut certain songs and put them on the back burner, thinking, okay, that's going to come a little later. I'm going to work on that. So some of these songs were cut a little bit ago, but Barrett Strong was always the one who wanted me to go to Stax and just record there. He knows James Stroud, all the people there from that label. And he introduced me to them a while ago, years before he passed away. And we were supposed to do like a session there and things, but I learned about it, with all the different influences with the Motown and the soul and the blues and all the people, you listen to Aretha Franklin albums and you see. So I kind of put all that together on songs I already had cut, like on Love Dr. Love a few years ago. And songs like I guess you would say some of the older stuff, like Colorcrimes, I cut a long time ago with a choir singing Why Can't We Live Together when Barrett was living. It's one of his favorite songs I wrote. And then I revamped it live on stage at Bradenton Blues Festival. I figured, you know what, these words need to be heard right now. And I looked at the band and I said, follow me, just follow me. And I started writing it on stage. So like you said, things come and go. They come to my mind. Like I want to do more of a soulful, like you're saying, more of a
Yeah.
soul blues vibe. And then I kind of put certain songs in a succession. And if all those songs work together as I'm playing it back to me, then that's the album. And this was an album I wanted to bring more horns in, a little more soulful, more backing vocals, and just give it more of that feel. I like to change up each album as I go and give people a little something different that is already within me, just bring it out more.
And you always work with really talented guests on your record. You always have, some great guitar players and guests. Who joined you on Colorcrimes?
Colorcrimes is my number one music buddy, Michael Puel. He started out with me in 1997. I started when I was 5. And I got him hired with Barrett Strong at Barrett's studio at Blair. It's called Blair Records. And it was in Southfield. And Mike P, I call him Mike P. He was the engineer at the time. So we had worked together on one of my very first albums called I'm Waiting. I don't know if you ever heard that, but that's really piano-based songwriting with a lot of backing vocals and slide guitar. That's my thing. His thing is slide guitar. Yeah. So I said, Mike, I cut this song again. I need some slide and some some cool, he did some vibraphone stuff on his guitar. And it was just me on piano. And then I got Mark Leach, who played with Buddy Miles. He played the B3. And then I got Justin Headley on drums. He plays with, what's his name? Brendan, what's his name? Damon Fowler. He's a drummer for Damon Fowler. So I was in Florida. So the whole thing comes together. I get to go to Mike's studio. He's from Detroit, but he moved to Nashville. Then he moved to Florida. So I kind of record with him a lot of the time. So I go where he is. So I'm in Florida half the time anyway. So we finished recording it there. And I picked Mike because he's the best slide player I know. Yeah. Excellent slide player.
And as you said, you record in different studios with different musicians. As the producer and the writer of the record, do you need to ensure that for the listener, it's seamless? The listener hears it and it sounds uniform. It doesn't sound like, okay, this group of songs was recorded here and then this group was done here. How hard is that as the producer and the writer to make it seamless like that, even though you're pulling things from different years and different studios?
Yes, it's difficult. I mean, you have to take what you had, and thank God Barrett taught me this: find the best musicians if they're not already with you that you can for your record. He said, no one sees on a record, but they hear the record. Okay, so with that in mind, every time I saw him do a session, he had Kern Brantley, who now, after I used him and Barrett introduced me to him in the late 90s, he was Lady Gaga's music director on bass. He's played with everyone. So he would find the best people in Detroit and they'd play on all the sessions. So I'm like, okay, put that in my little book, always, and so if you're lucky enough to have the same people on everything, I think that's great. But I tend to like to change up the sound, find different people in different states that I know that can do it. And I just like to keep it fresh and exciting for me as well as the listener. But it is a difficult task. Whatever you have to make sure the songs are seamless, and like the vocal for me has tied everything together after I sing it. And then if a song sounds like it needs to be worked up, I'll add to it. I'll just add more guitar, maybe add a new drum part, some more backing vocals, more organ, and I kind of make it's like a puzzle. And then when that puzzle's done, I listen to all the songs, and if they all fit in that one sequence, that's going to be the album. So that's how I do it.
Now, the title track, Colorcrimes, it's a really powerful song. Talk a little bit about the background of that song and what it means for you.
Okay, well, when I wrote that song, I mean, it seems like it never ends with this, plight that we have all in the world, not only in America, everywhere. I mean, people, not only is it racism, there's bigotry, there's sexism, it just goes on and on and on. And being a woman, I've been privy to a lot of it. Being Armenian with blonde hair, which is dyed because I'm a dark-haired person. I'm an indigenous person. People, right away, oh, you're this and that by looking at me. How could you even sing blues? You know what I mean? How in the hell do you, I mean, they don't understand, I'm a third generation survivor of a genocide. Armenians were in a genocide. So I grew up in a family, Armenian family, going through my grandma's escaped the genocide, and they have, tattoos from the concentration camps. And so right then and there, I've already been persecuted as a third generation mentality, not personally, but it's in my genes. Then I'm in Detroit, and all my friends are African American, and I see what they go through. And I'm part of that whole feeling and what the Black people go through on a daily basis. And I pick up on everything, other ethnic groups that have been persecuted upon, not just even women. I've been persecuted upon for being a woman. It's like, less money. I was the one making the least amount of money in this, wedding band I was in. All the guys were making like twice as much as me. And I found out 15 years later, but I'm not condemning anyone, but it's alive and well. Okay, so I write this song, Why Can't We Live Together? It was much faster when I wrote it. Just make time for life, come together, let's talk, we can do this, and every time I sing it, people start crying. I start crying. I can barely even sing the song. I said, now this song is ready. And I played it in a much slower cadence, it's a triplet kind of dun, 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 dun. And I just came together with that beat, right? And then with the organ coming in right in the beginning, that gave me the angst and the passion I felt, because it brought me to tears on my own. I couldn't even get through the song live, really, till like the third time. So I go, this song has to be heard. It has to be heard right now because of look what's going on in our world.
Yeah. And on a similar note, and I've talked to a couple other artists about this, but it seems like with everything that you've mentioned going on, when it comes to the blues, it's always been a little more open and inclusive. We mentioned Stax. Those early acts were integrated in a tremendously racist South.
Yes.
Now there's so many great female blues artists who are seeing a lot of success. Have you started to see anything begin to change at all in your time in the business?
It seems like it's getting a little better. It was going really well. Like I broke into the blues in 2015. And since I'm an independent artist, we're up against, a lot of big wigs, against for radio play and stuff. So if like my record comes out when, let's say, oh gosh, someone on Alligator,
Yeah.
Who are you gonna play? You know what I mean? So to be able to be played in the same show as these, huge money making labels, and I'm just a women run minority label out of Detroit, with my partner who's out of Jersey, who's a Howard grad, minority. We're a 2-man show, so it's an honor. But I think it's opening up more. I think more people are talking about this, and not only from blues being the most reverend music created by African Americans who created all music pretty much. And we are taking, what they've taught us and putting it together in such a way that hopefully is presentable to the world. And when it is recognized as something that people do like and respect, that means everything to me. And when I received the Black Music Award here for Blues Entertainment a few years ago, that was like getting a Grammy for me because, like I said, I'm an Armenian chick from the suburbs of Detroit. So I have learned how to take something and channel it in such a way that's respected by not all, most, and hopefully I'm winning over some of the ones who don't agree with it. Maybe they're loosening up their belt a little or their ears and listening to what it is, because Marion Harris was a Greek girl in the 40s singing blues, and her records never came out. She was always hidden, and it happened way back, way back. So it was kind of like, you know, she was a Greek girl doing blues and no one really wanted to put her out. So it's a parallel there with me, I feel. But a lot of the major blues men like Buddy Guy, Bobby Rush, they approve of me. They're like, you're doing it, do your thing. So, okay, I'm good.
And another song I wanted to ask you about on the record, Banned in Jackson. Is it a true story?
Yes, it's true. I was banned in Jackson, Michigan. Somehow there was some rumor that my skirt, whatever, it's a vintage 70s dress. It's very appropriate. I wear the right things for a stage, shorts, pantyhose, the whole thing. Someone said I didn't have anything on under the dress. And she, whoever it was, didn't, whatever, for any reason. I heard she had done that to some other women who have been there, like wearing a, you know, wear a shirt that's buttoned up to one, I won't name names, but someone did tell me, who's a very big name in the blues, that she had to dress cover her, you know. So this is a thing there. And this is blues. This is not, we're not in a church. We are singing blues rock. Okay. So it's ridiculous. And the audience loved, you know, loved it. So I had no idea that I was banned. You know, you're on the ban list or whatever. So I wrote that song. And like John Lee Hooker would be like, hello. And so would Buddy Guy and everyone who likes big thighs and short skirts.
It's the blues.
It's the blues. Hello. It's written, it wrote itself, really. So I hope she hears it. No names. She hears it, and I can go back one day and sing it for her.
Now, you're always touring and playing. You have a bunch of dates up on your website, but what's the rest of the year kind of look like for you when it comes to being on the road?
Well, we're going to try to get November more booked up, but I am supposed to be going to France in September to do Le Mans Blues Festival. So I'm going to book some more shows around that. Maybe in Spain, and we can do the UK and do France. That's a big festival in France. I'm really excited. That's September 14th. Then October, we're coming back this way. And then November, I'll be in Florida. I have like 14 dates there. I'll be playing Biloxi Blues, Ground Zero. So if you go to my website, there's a lot of stuff coming. It's filling up. We're getting more and more gigs, festivals and concerts, you know. And well, I'm playing Buddy Guys again on June 28th, so I can't wait for that. And rumor has it the Stones are in town, so maybe they'll come by after. Who knows?
You never know.
Right.
It's been so great watching the growth and evolution of your career. And I think with each record, you're getting more airplay, seeing your name pop up in more places. What do you see as the next step, and how do you define success?
Well, let's see. If people can hear me on Sirius XM, Blues Ball every day, I feel like, okay, maybe I don't have to jump in the river yet. No, just kidding. I think that's a big thing, because it's hard to get on there, and I've gotten on there, and I thank God for that. And all the program directors and DJs playing it. They love the music there, so it's great. And then worldwide, people like you spreading the word. It's more and more and more playlists, more and more worldwide play, getting on these charts that are hard to get on. It's really good. It makes me feel like people really are needing the music. And I'll tell you, the biggest thing is when the fans write me and tell me how much it's helped them and made them feel like waking up that day, that's success to me. And when people come to my show and leave happier, that's success. And to also be able to pay some bills, that's success. So all those things, if that can keep going, I'm good with it. I just want to be able to do bigger and better festivals, reach more people, and keep it going on the airwaves, doing interviews with people like you, of course. So we can reach everybody. We can reach more people than we even realize by doing these kind of things. I didn't even realize the power of all the, you know, like people. I was at Buddy Guy's, and a lady had flown in from where was it? It was Scotland. So she heard me on one of the independent Scotland independent blues shows. She flew in to Buddy Guy's to watch. That's just one story. I had people from Brazil, Japan, China. I mean, they were all there. I mean, Buddy Guys is like the most fun place to play. Thank you, Greg Guy, Buddy Guy, the whole staff at Buddy Guys. I mean, they're amazing. You got to check it out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we've been spending some time here with Eliza Neals. The record is called Colorcrimes. It's another great record in your discography. It's a pleasure to have you on here. I love watching you grow as an artist, and love when I turn Bluesville on and see your name pop up. So you're always welcome here when you got something you want to talk about, and it's been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I'm glad you're feeling the song because at first I was afraid, right? I said, oh no, I'm crying too much when I sing this song. Is it going to bring everyone down? And like Barrett used to say to me, just put it out there. He
Yep.
loved the song. So I feel like he nudged my arm from heaven, put that song out. So I'm glad you all feel it. And I really, really am so happy. I hope it helps do something.
Definitely. And
Thanks for
hopefully we can
having me.
catch you on the road soon.
Oh, definitely. Keep in touch and much love to you. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Bye.
Okay.